Welcome to the Like a DOS podcast, where Ronnie Doss shares insights regarding life, leadership, and personal development. For more of our resources, visit ronniedoss.com. Now, let's join the podcast.
In today's podcast, I want to talk to you about resistance and how it takes its form and how it can keep us from doing what it is we know we need to do to get to the next level. So resistance is an energy. It's something that exists for all of us, and it's on the outside of us, but it's also something that we can perpetuate on the inside based on the perspective that we have on any scenario or circumstance or situation. Like resistance is this thing, and it's very real, and resistance doesn't care. It's not biased. It just is what it is. And if you think about a plane moving down a runway to take off, the resistance where the wind gets underneath the wings, that's what actually gives the plane its lift. And so you climb off the runway based on resistance. And it's the same way in life. Like there are things that are challenging. There are adversities and obstacles that you are going to face. And you can either allow those obstacles to beat you down, beat you to your knees, and give you permission to quit. Or you can say, this is a real thing that everybody experiences, everybody faces, and yes, the resistance may be a little unique to me based on my current situation, but everybody that's a part of the human condition feels this and faces it, so what am I going to do with it? You see, resistance is something that we can lock onto, thinking that it shouldn't be this way, it shouldn't be this challenging, it shouldn't be this hard, and the resistance of it causes us to fold. And so if I understand what resistance is and the fact that it actually becomes my ally when I push through it, because it's the thing that makes me stronger, when I realize that, then I'm empowered to use the adversity, the challenges, and the wisdom that I gain from doing the work on those challenges. And in the midst of that adversity, I use that to get better. So it becomes my friend. So there's a book called The Obstacle is the Way, and it's that type of thinking. It's where when you realize the obstacle, the thing that you don't necessarily like, instead of resenting it and being so frustrated with it that you just beat your chest thinking that you are so right and so self-righteous in your perspective that it shouldn't be that way. You stop resisting it and going, oh, if this is manifested in my life, maybe it's actually a gift for me. Maybe this thing that I despise right now is a gift. Maybe it's something that's giving me the opportunity to refine my approach, and the friction from the thing is what actually is polishing me and making me into a better person. Like if you thought about that with every situation, like if you looked at your whole life right now and you're like, well, I'm not dealing with a whole lot of resistance. I'm not angry at a lot of things. Well, cool. That's great. You don't have that big thing. But let's say you were looking at any small scenario in your life that you were resisting. What if each of those scenarios were simply different forms of a gift that was being manifested, that maybe on some level you chose even before you were born to face so you could become whoever it is that you had decided to become? And so it's almost like you laid out the obstacle course before you were born. You had an agreement with God and you said, hey, this is what I want to become. And God's like, okay, cool. You can do it. I'm going to throw some obstacles out there. You good with this? And you said yes. And the next thing you know, you're traveling at the speed of light. You wind up showing up in your mother's womb. You're born. And now you have what's called life, which is full of challenges and adversities that maybe you yourself chose before the foundations of the earth so that you could become a person of value. Like you're born valuable, but you decided, hey, put those obstacles in front of me because I know that as I learn to work through that, I'm going to gain some wisdom that can help other people to do their life better as well. What if that's how you looked at all these things that you were frustrated with? And you're like, hey, this is a gift. And I'm not talking about being naive so that you create problems or drama, because some people are great at that. Like they start the fires and then they put them out. And at the end of the day, they're like, oh my gosh, my life is so hard. It's so challenging. You wouldn't believe the fires I had to put out today. Not knowing that they're carrying the matches around in their pocket that started the fires, right? Which is the case for most of us. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about looking at the adversity that comes from being human. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're somebody that works with a team, works with people, if you're in sales, you have children, you know that the challenges are going to come. And so it's really not about looking at the challenges and getting upset. It's almost looking at them going, okay, what do I need to do here? What is it that I could potentially resist about this? And then what work can I do? What action step can I take so that I move beyond this thing that's telling me to stop or telling me to quit and get better? Like there's all sorts of different forms of resistance. So I'll give you a few of them. I did a Facebook Live today and I was talking about these. The first form of resistance, which is huge for a lot of people, is simply confusion. And confusion is where they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, so they just do nothing. And I say they. Let me say we. We don't know what to do and we do nothing. Because resistance can show up in that form for me. It's like, well, I don't exactly know how to do this, so maybe I'll wait till tomorrow until the resources show themselves so that then I'll have all the knowledge that I need to take some action steps and move forward. And you can wind up waiting your whole life because you'd say you're confused and you don't have the right information, the right education, the right knowledge. Like that's a form of resistance. And you can live there for a long time, and a lot of people do. They just stay confused. But what I've learned about, confusion is it gives us permission to not dig in, but it's no excuse. Like it gives you permission, but that's no excuse. Like, yeah, you could use it as an excuse, but it's really not what's going to make you better. So why not choose to dig in, ask questions, and seek new knowledge, crack a new book, listen to a new podcast, get some new information in the area that may be a little bit intimidating to you right now. So that once you wrap your head around it, then you can say, hey, I understand this better, and you can take a step more accordingly and a little more wisely than what you would have without that information. And so don't let confusion stop you. If you want to know something, ask. Shoot an email out to somebody. I just got an email today of somebody saying, hey, what are the 5 main things that I can do between the time that I'm going to do another event or speak somewhere else or hoping to get invited somewhere else? What are 5 things that I can do? And it was such a clear email that I responded to it. I'm like, that's awesome. Great, specific, clear questions. But you can't let confusion stop you, not reach out, not ask the question. Well, I don't know what to do. Well, ask, seek, and then find, right? The finding is reserved for the seekers. The resources are reserved for the people that are willing to dig. And I think this is a big thing for us. So don't let confusion be the resistance that stops you. Another form of resistance, right? This is a big one. Another form of resistance for people is simply being busy doing stuff that they're not excited about. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be excited about every single thing that you do. I mean, maybe there's some guy out there or some lady out there that wakes up and is like, yes, I'm excited to wash the dishes. Yes, I'm excited to sweep the floors. Yes, I'm excited to steam my clothes. Whatever. I don't know that person's out there because it surely ain't me. It's not. And yes, I said ain't. It ain't me. That is not me. I'm not super excited about everything, but I can check my perspective and make sure that I'm bringing the right energy to things so that I can do what I need to do and not just stay busy going through the motions because I'm afraid of what it looks like to step outside that mold or take some risks. Like I'm not just going to stay busy. I read something recently that said unsuccessful people are busy, successful people are focused. And I want to be focused. I want to be focused on the thing that I know I can do to help me to get to that next level. But I'm also very clear that I must be the one that's willing to do the work on that, not just do the work staying busy, which is ultimately like quitting. Like it is. Busy is like quitting. You've quit on the next level and now you're just going through the motions, clocking in and clocking out, going through the motions, and it keeps you on the same level that you're at. And so busy is another form of resistance. Right? It's like quitting. It just looks a little bit better, like you're dressing up mediocrity when you stay busy. Anyway, there's that one. And then here's the last thing, and we'll be done. We'll try and keep this under 10 minutes here. This third form of resistance is simply perfection. Like if you think you have to uphold some image or some view that, yes, you are not foolish or you are not somebody who makes mistakes. Like if you think that about you and you hold yourself to that standard and you try to be perfect, let me tell you something. You are going to miss out on all the good things in life. Like you're going to fall on your face, but you got to get back up, knock the dust off of you and start again. A quote that I heard years ago, I don't even know where it came from. It said, you can't be afraid of getting your fingers dirty because the miracles are in the dirt. And if you're so afraid of looking like you're not dirty at all, you can't get dirty or you can't mess up, like you're going to miss the great things because you're just trying to spend all your energy upholding some form, facade, some avatar that you made up that's just not serving you. And it might be great that you uphold that image, but I can promise you that'll be about the only result you produce is an upheld image. You're not going to produce great results on some other area. And so with that being said, I'm going to challenge you to look at your life and ask yourself, where are you confused? How have you been playing confused when all you needed to do was to dive in, read a book, listen to a new podcast, ask some questions? How has confusion stopped you from taking some bold, massive action into something else? The next thing is, how have you just been busy? Like, what are you doing going through the motions? Are you spending all your time rearranging the furniture in the living room, or are you doing the work so you can buy some new furniture and remodel your home? Like, what are you doing? Are you just busy? Because remember, busy's like quitting. It's just dressed up a little bit. Like, you can dress up mediocrity. And one of the ways we do that is just to stay busy. Now, that doesn't mean you get to do everything you want to do all at once. Please hear me. But you can make adjustments to what you're doing so you can start doing more of what you really are passionate about. And then here's the last thing. Third thing on resistance is perfection. I just talked to you about it. Stop having to be perfect. Humble yourself. Be honest. Get out there, mess up, screw up, do some things, but then step back in with a little bit more wisdom, a little more insight, and keep growing. If you'll do that and not let resistance stop you from doing the work you know that you could do to get better, I'm telling you, you're going to produce more success. I believe success is a byproduct of a life well lived, and you got to do the work. This is Ronnie Doss. Listen, we're doing an event on December 13th in Tempe, Arizona. If you want to come to that event, you can get registered. You can email my office, info at dossteam.com to get the registration link. We'll provide that for you. You come, you spend a day with me. We're going to talk about personal development. We're going to talk about staying in the question, developing more self-awareness. We're going to talk about doing better in the marketplace with our teams and our jobs, our profession. It's going to be a powerful day. We got some great people that are going to be in the room. We've got people flying in from different states. We're excited. It's called our Emerge event. It's Friday, December 13th here in Tempe, Arizona, just outside Phoenix, the Phoenix area. So we're excited about that. But if you want to register, email our office. Let us know. We look forward to seeing you there. This is Ronnie Doss. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.